Howdy, folks. I'm Ardent Anemone, agilely adapting to adventurous abodes.
I'm Amber.
And I just want to know, Amber, why are we changing houses?
Because we can.
Because we can. I guess we are a walking anemone, and I think that is all that matters here. We have legs, we get up, we walk, as because we're a flower.
Or
Why
you're
not?
potted and someone moves you, but...
Maybe I have like a robot legs.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Picking a New Color for My House even though my son's friends find the one that we have embarrassing? I bought my house 15 years ago, and it's a fixer-upper, and it needed a lot of work. The only thing that I really kept from it was its bright pink paint. The guy that I bought it from said that it was his deceased father's house. He had painted it that way to make the neighbors mad. I decided that I liked the color and I kept it that way. When I married my wife a year later, she agreed. We now have 3 kids, a 13-year-old boy, a 10-year-old girl, and an 8-year-old girl. We are doing some minor renovations to the house and have decided to touch up the paint as it's been a while. My son asked if we could paint it a normal color because it was embarrassing to live in a pink house. We declined and said that we liked the color. Ultimately, it's our house and we'll be living here longer than him. When we die, he's free to paint it whatever he wants. My mother-in-law feels that we are being unfair and that we should have taken into account how it's embarrassing for a teen boy to live in a Barbie house. We asked my son if he's been teased about it and he said no, but he hates it. Our daughter likes it. Are we wrong for not painting the house a normal color? Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. There are some things that you just really can't compromise on in a way that's going to satisfy everyone in the household. 4/5 of the members of the household like the pink house. One person doesn't. And it's just a paint color. I understand it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but, it's just the color of the house. And, sometimes kids are not going to like the choices their parents make with paint colors or whatever. And it's just kind of one of those situations. I don't actually really think anyone's in the wrong here. The son isn't in the wrong for wanting it to be a different color, but
Yeah.
LP is not in the wrong for holding fast and keeping it that color.
Yeah, I think he's willing to, I think it's alright for him to make this demand, right? But if he were to go out and throw paint on the side of the house or something like that, at that point in time he would be in the wrong, right? So it's not wrong to make the request. The thing is that they're going to keep it this color, and as long as he's living there, he's just going to have to deal. There's nothing wrong with living in a pink house.
Right. And honestly, I wish we had more vibrant colored houses. I think that would be more fun.
Yeah.
But I think with houses, letting the kids have their own bedroom color, or if they have their own bathroom, letting them decorate and paint those areas the way they want is a nice compromise.
Yeah, if his room is pink and he doesn't like that, then yeah, let him choose his own room color, right? But he can't be the only member of the house who gets to say on what the color of the outside is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And CJ Bay 87 says, Not the jerk, and I live in a pink house. The color was chosen by my husband's grandfather when the house was built. It's the only pink house in our area, and anytime when someone asks about where we live, we just say the pink house on our street. And they all know the house. It's on the main road, so it sticks out in the sea of traditional colors. The story behind the house is that my husband's grandfather was known to be a very frugal man, and when it came to picking out the color of the house, he was choosing what was on sale, hence the pink. Now, 60 years later, and we've never spoke of changing it because we love the story. 3 generations have been raised in this house. There's something very special about seeing the house unchanged over the years as the scenery around it has changed and the people who were raised here are now grown up and the families are now us raising our sons here. I love that his great-grandfather has pics in front of this house and now our son does too. That's a nice story.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someday the son will appreciate it. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Keeping My Name Change a Secret for 5 years? So I'm a 26-year-old female, and my parents decided to name my sister and I after American states. I have permission to share her name, Arizona, and I was called Pennsylvania at birth. Yes, my parents are weird. I guess they thought that the geographical names were cool, but I think there's a huge difference between calling your child Arizona or Dakota or Paris versus Pennsylvania. They're massive Republicans and American lovers, so maybe they wanted to be patriotic. For as long as I can remember, everyone has called me Penn or Penny. My parents insisted that everyone was to call me by my full name, but most people would see how ridiculous my parents are. My sister, a 28-year-old female, didn't struggle as much with her name since Arizona just sounds better than Pennsylvania. And the Grey's Anatomy character Arizona Robbins made the name seem quite cool as we got older. I was mocked and teased as a child in elementary school because my parents insisted on my full name. They would literally berate my teachers for letting me write Penny on my workbooks. When I was 21, I got my name legally changed to Penelope. Most people that I had met at college assumed that I went by Penny as a nickname for Penelope. Even my boyfriend's mother called me Penelope because I was too embarrassed to tell her that Penny was short for Pennsylvania. I kept it secret from my parents and close family because I knew my parents would be mad and accuse me of disrespecting their choice. I'm getting married this summer to my lovely boyfriend Tom, a 31-year-old male, and as you all know, you have to say your full name in your wedding ceremony when doing your vows. I knew that I had to fess up about my name change because the alternate would have been hoping that they would kept quiet when they heard me say the name Penelope instead of Pennsylvania. I invited them to my home and I tried to tell them in a really calm way that I had changed my name, but they freaked out. They said that I was being disrespectful and that I was calling their choice dumb, etc. They are refusing to attend the wedding now. I know that I'm not the jerk for changing my name, but my parents are particularly mad about how I kept it hidden for 5 years before telling them. Most people I know agree with them. They think that I should have had the courage to be honest with them years ago, so they would have had time to get used to it instead of me dropping the news on them 2 months before my wedding and causing all this drama. A few other family members have dropped out, and my poor sister, who is maid of honor, is having a nightmare with this. My parents believe that they had the right to know much earlier. Edit, I know that I could have asked the officiant to say Penny instead of Penelope, but I don't want to hide my real name on my wedding day. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. OP's family is not entitled to this information. I'm going to paraphrase something. I think this is from Danny Lavery, but a name is a gift, but once it is given to the recipient, they are free to do with it as they wish.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania didn't fit OP. She wanted to change it. That's fine. She did not feel comfortable telling her judgmental parents. I can see why. They were not entitled to this piece of information. She was an adult. She was legally allowed to change her name. She wasn't wrong to want to keep it from people who are going to harass her about her choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think that OP was putting it off for as long as possible, and I can't blame them for that, especially given the reaction here. But 2 months is still a long time. Like, it's not like they told them the day of the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I think OP was probably trying to figure out how to deal with the situation. Maybe they could have told them sooner, but again, like Amber said, they aren't entitled to know this information if OP didn't want to tell them, right?
Right. Well, and how ridiculous the family members are dropping out of the wedding over the fact that OP made a simple choice to change her name.
I mean, she's changing her last name probably here soon too, right? And I mean, like OP, from the comments that I read, they do seem to indicate that they are changing their last name. So why is it such a big shock to change a name, period, right? I think that they're taking this a little too seriously. I can understand them being disappointed that OP didn't like the name Pennsylvania. But if you give your child a really odd name, there's going to be a chance that they're going to change it.
Well,
right?
even if you give your child what's considered a normal name, it may not be the name for them.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand, like, it's always sad when someone doesn't like a gift you give them, especially when you put a lot of thought into. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to be something for the recipient to enjoy. And if they're not enjoying it, then, you know.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Dropping My Daughter-in-Law Off at My Mother-in-Law's House and Not Picking Her Up When Requested? My daughter, Tamara, 14, has been going through a terrible phase at home. I'm a 38-year-old female and I can do nothing right. All she does is argue with me and scream. She will not do any chores and makes life harder for me and her little brother, 12. I was 14 once, so I remember what it was like to be that age. I'm doing my best just to get through to her on this. I may not always do the best job or keep my cool with her, but I am trying. My husband is out of town right now, and his mom, however, lives a couple of towns over and has decided to chime in. Tamara called her when I grounded her for skipping school and vaping weed with her friends. I took away her screen privileges except for her laptop, which she needs for school. I'm a dummy because she called her grandmother on it. My mother-in-law, Helen, is usually level-headed, so I have no idea why she had decided that her parenting advice is warranted or wanted at this time. She said that I'm being cruel to her poor baby girl and that I should not be trying to control her like this. I said that I was punishing my daughter because of her unacceptable behavior and how I reprimanded my child was not her problem. She countered with the fact that she raised 4 children, all boys by the way, that she did not have to punish this way. I know her youngest was out of the house before smartphones, so it was different. My daughter came into the room while I was talking to Helen and started screaming about what a terrible person I am and that she wants to move out as soon as she can. Helen said that none of her kids have ever said that, so she must be a better mother. I asked if she was serious and wanted to give it a shot. Tamara jumped at the opportunity and begged her grandmother to take her in. Helen agreed. I drove to Helen's house and said that I would come back when my husband gets home and we can talk. I dropped her off Saturday 3 days ago and Helen started calling me on Sunday. I need to come and get my daughter. Sorry I can't. My son and I went to visit my folks for the week. I thought that it would be a good opportunity to see my parents at their farm since my daughter hates it there, away from her friends and the city. My parents are also the last people on earth with dial-up internet. My son does not care because he gets to play with the horses. It's a little early yet for foals, but who knows. Helen asked me to please come get Tamara. She's even called my husband. He called me, and I told him what was going on. He said that if his mother asked for it, then she needs to follow through. I love that guy. I also fielded calls from my 2 sister-in-laws. They asked me what was going on, so I told them. They asked if I was really going to leave Tamara with our mother-in-law for another week, and I said that's where she is staying unless they want to watch her. They both noped out without suggesting that I go get her. Tamara and Helen each have their reasons for thinking that I'm the jerk. I do not think that my daughter is. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. If grandma said, hey, I want to do this, and wanted to have an opinion, and was like, I'm so sure I can do so much better than you, she's got a whole week to do so much better than OP.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those situations where she asked to do this and OP left out of town, so it's not even an option for OP to turn around and go collect them. I mean, I guess the best that Helen can do at this point in time is drive up to OP and drop the daughter off at the farm, but it doesn't sound like the daughter probably likes it there anyways, right? So, I mean, again, I'm glad that the husband is on OP's side here.
Yeah, I think that's important. And like, I understand that she feels like she knows better, but like, this is kind of the proof that like, you don't always know a situation. You can't always judge it from the outside. You know, raising kids is not an easy feat, and different kids are different. Some are easier, some are harder, you know. And so I think this is a great learning lesson for mother-in-law to stay in her lane.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's just it. Is all kids are going to be different, and just because OP's mother-in-law had 4 kids who weren't a problem to raise doesn't mean that there aren't other kids that are more difficult to raise.
Well, and like her kids grew up, before technology is what it is, and so to be like, well, I didn't do that to any of my kids. Technology was also different when your kids were coming along. It wasn't ubiquitous.
Yeah. So I do think that OP is not in the wrong here. I think that Helen really kind of asked for it. And in this particular case, there really wasn't much that OP could do to take the kid away from Helen, because like she's gone, right? She's left for the farm.
Well, it doesn't seem like the grandmother is abusing her in any way. It just seems like the grandmother is at her wit's end, which, I think the important thing is the daughter is still being cared for. If it got to a situation where the daughter was no longer being cared for, then it would be incumbent upon OP to find some way to get her.
Yeah.
But, I think, again, it seems like mother-in-law is just not used to dealing with a teenager and has had enough, and she can just keep dealing with it. Sister-in-laws, maybe they can, since they also want to have an opinion, maybe they can step up and help.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a jovial Bob sign joke.
Bruce, do you know where I can buy some parrot seed? Linda, why? You don't own a parrot. Bruce, I know, but I want to grow one.
Yes, I thought that was coming. I thought jovial Bob sign would go that route. And I have Mega Mint. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks! I hope your Monday is going great. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please, have it involve parenting.
Parenting involves a lot of tough decisions, and a lot of people think they know best. But it may be wise to keep your opinions to yourself, lest you get to take on the responsibilities.
I think that works. I think that works. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
Howdy, folks. I'm Ardent Anemone. Agili. Howdy, folks. I'm Argent Enemy. An enemy. Howdy, folks. I'm Argent. Howdy, folks. I'm Argent Anemone. Agili. Howdy, folks. I'm Agile.
I mean, you can do be agile and enemy ardently.